All right. So let's take a look at this King's Indian fifth training arena. I'm going to share a screen on that. And the idea is to look at beginner to intermediate, maybe a little more than intermediate for number one. We'll see. Pretty much, I'd say solid intermediate. Number one, this time he did wipe out the competition. Okay, who did you? Okay, I got him once. I did get him once, but he gave me a fight. But other than our game, he beat everybody. Let's see. So he's beating like 1000s, 1200s. So let's see what he's doing. Last time I looked at some of the students who are having trouble. We'll look at that too. I mean, when you look at his games, you might see some of the ones who are having trouble. Let's see. But he in an arena, he will play mostly the ones that are up here, but it looks like he did play pretty much everyone. So that might be a good way to go. We'll just flitz through his games. Just want to get a quick sense. Some of them were just a matter of, hey, hanging pieces. I did notice that some of the students were doing what I say not to do, which is to move too quickly. Just, really take your time. This is 10 plus 10. Every move, you gain 10 seconds. That doesn't mean that you have to stay above 10 minutes. You should be expending your time. Use your time wisely. That's what it's all about. You just have to adjust accordingly. If you have a 90-minute game, well, hey, maybe you will literally spend 20 minutes, 15 minutes on one move. I've spent even more. If you're going to sacrifice something, you want to make sure it works. If they're about to checkmate your king, well, you want to make sure you don't get checkmated. I'd rather be down to, I don't care, 1 second on my clock and not get checkmated than have an hour on my clock and get checkmated, or just be in a terrible position. Well, I'm used to doing, I could get down to like bullet game type of things. And besides, I view it as a very laid back blitz game. If you get 30 seconds added to the clock, well, every move, okay, you could be down to 1 second. Now you're at 31. You spend a few seconds. Now you're approaching a minute, right? So sometimes you just kind of prep everything and make a few moves in a row. And okay, you're back to 2 minutes, right? Anyhow, let's take a look. So let's see. Amog totally wiped the competition. Aditya has won every other, but he wasn't able to play this. So I'm looking for a showdown. It'll be a very interesting showdown. Let's see. So let's just blitz through them really quickly. Again, right? But it's just the main ideas, right? So we're gonna watch how Amog wins, and we could learn things from the other side. But we're looking at it from his side. Okay, let's see what he's doing. It's always good to know from the other perspective. E4, E5, D3, solid. Not letting your bishop out, but solid enough. Knight C6, flexible. That's the main move in this kind of position. C4, you are weakening your D4 square. Just quick reactions, because you don't have a pawn that can cover D4 anymore. So that's a weak square that the knight can hop into. The bishop can look through there, the F pawn, the weak F pawn. So let's see how he's able to exploit it. Well, there you go. Bishop C5 right away. Computer's giving black a slight edge already. Minus 0.3, it likes black here because white's not developing any pieces. And they have weakness. Black hasn't given any weaknesses up. Well, D4 just loses a pawn. 1, 2, 3, covering only one. So sometimes we're just going to see obvious blunders. So bishop takes. Probably either way is fine. Knight comes out. Bishop just goes back. He likes that bishop. Let's preserve it. Let's keep pressure on the F pawn. Keep the bishop here. Queen E2 blocks the bishop, though, on F1. So you can see Amog is just developing calmly. G4, it seems it's hanging a pawn, because if the knight takes on E5 to unleash the queen, well, the knight will just take back and save itself. So, or the other knight possibly, probably this one. So it's just a free pawn. So basically we're just having some hanging pieces and stuff. So we don't need to see too much. Let's get a sense. I mean, there is a little bit of an attack coming. May as well play H6 and create an attack on the king. Rook H2, knight comes in, tempo on the rook. Oops. You take with check, and you can also take the rook, win the exchange. Trade, 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 win in the exchange. Yeah, it doesn't like that. F6 isn't necessary. I mean, no need to weaken your king a little bit, give him a check. Yeah, I like that. Bring your queen out. Sure, why not? Not a big deal. You can see the computer still says you're totally winning. So right now, what do we have? I would cancel out very quickly. Knight for knight, bishop for bishop. We have rook for rook, queen for queen. So we have a rook for a knight, and you can see that black is not missing any pawns, and white's missing 1, 2, 3 pawns. So basically, we have a rook and 3 pawns for a knight. What's that? 5 plus 3, we have 8 for 3. So 5 points up for black, which is why you're seeing that. Well, you see it right here. Rook, 3 pawns. I did it, whatever. Can't rely on the computer for everything. So on the real board, just cancel out. You don't need to count out all the pieces, just cancel out. Same, 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 right? You get down to the differences. So we have bishop going to G4, and then bishop G2. Bishop takes, just trading down when you're ahead material. Knight has a good square. So, and then the knight forks and wins the queen. Triple fork, family fork. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see the next one. So Vito did pretty well. Vito did pretty well last time. So he has white. Okay, so e4, e5, most common other than the Sicilian was c5. Knight f3, bishop c5, knight c3. I was also looking with my students at stuff like bishop c4 and d3. Castles, knight bd2 type stuff is fine. But this is standard. Might be getting a 4 knights. Now, I'm not sure why the queen goes to f6, because it's not going to checkmate. It's not like the knight's going to move. And the queen's going to get attacked by the bishop on g5 or knight g5. That's coming. Bishop c4, knight h6. You could play knight g4, but you're just going to cover when you castle, cover f2. Okay, we have castles, castles, d3, knight c6, knight d5. Tempo on the queen, hitting c7. Queen goes to g6, but hangs c7, so he could take if he wants. He decides not to. Bishop e3 is fine, just develop. You still have pressure here. Well, he's trying to get rid of the bishop and the knight and then fork. We'll see if that works out. Knight moves. Uh-oh. Now the bishop's hanging. So rather than take the knight and allow the bishop to escape, he just takes the bishop. Okay, pawn goes to b5, hits the bishop, no problem. Oh, and the fork happens. He gets another fun king and queen fork. We got a royal fork. He snatches it with check, of course, and he snatches more material. He takes the rook, and he takes the knight, and he takes and brings his queen out, and he takes, hoping for a Hail Mary, hoping the queen hangs. So yeah, I mean, look what he's doing. You know, it's very straightforward. He's just getting his pieces out to good squares. He's castling quickly, getting his knight on a good square on d5. There's no c6 to chase. It's not technically a fully weak square because c5 hasn't been played. Remember, pawn e5 and c5, like pawn e4 and c4, the last game weakened d4. But now d5 is accessible. It's not fully weak because c6 can be played, but it's accessible now with tempo, with gain of time against the queen. And then they just hung a piece. So a lot of these are just coming down to hanging pieces, you know. Let's see how Rainbow Unicorn did. So we're looking from Amog's perspective with black. How do you win? E4, how do you win the tournament? Pretty decisively. Bishop c4, knight c6, bishop tucks back to b3, knight f6, queen e2, bishop c5, queen c4. Oh, yikes. Got to be careful. The queen is forking the bishop and the f pawn. Now, there seems to be only one good move, which Amog found. Queen e7, very nice. Guards c5 and f7 simultaneously at the same time, right? Like a simultaneous exhibition last week where I played everyone at once. So yeah, basically it worked out, fortunately. Now, like in the other game, or unlike the other game, the bishop came out first and the queen went behind it. So in one game, the queen went to e7, or in this where it was e2, and it blocked the bishop on f1. So you don't really want to block it if you can avoid it. Kind of get the car out of the garage. You don't want those double parked cars. Get that car out of the garage, right? And then the other one will come next. And so he just guards everything. But there's the mistake. The queen takes f7. There are two attackers, two defenders. You would need to have something like a knight on g5 to pile up on f7. He doesn't have that. Queen takes, or Rainbow Unicorn doesn't have. Queen takes f7. Bishop takes, king takes. And now you see the material difference? Bishop for pawn, that's a +2. Bishop's 3 points, pawn's 1 point. So essentially you're up 2 points, and that's pretty good. Pretty much decisive, should be enough to win. Now he's going for the fork. He loves those forks. Well, it was given up. I was talking with my student last night about in Bug House or Crazy House, never move your C pawn or F pawn because it creates an empty. So if we were playing Bug House, he would drop a knight on C2 and fork. Fortunately for him, he already has a knight to go C2. So what should she have done? Either knight A3 or king D1. If you castle, he's still going to take and win the rook in the corner. You might have to go to A3, castle, and then kick the knight. The knight will keep coming into new weak squares. You see, C3 gives a new square for the knight on D3. So yeah, it's not great. Also, there's the e pawn. Well, actually, no, this is interesting. If it doesn't work. If you take care of a check, king counterattacks the knight. Now the knight's hanging and the c pawn's hanging. Yeah. Can it? Yeah, knight d3. Well, you can trade if you want. You can check. You give him this one though, but you'd get the rook in the corner. But I mean, he's already up a piece. So if you really want, if he goes knight d3, you could just trade. Okay, anyway, so c3 is played. There's a fork, and then again, we just want to get to this point where it's a winning position, and you'll see it just like the other games. Oh, he loves those forks, guys. Do not give Amog these forks, okay? Don't give him these forks. You have to notice what your point. How much time is being spent? Actually, to White's credit, they are spending time. Amog is not spending time, but he's getting away with it, so I can't critique him on that because he just has straightforward moves, you know? His opponent's not putting too much pressure on him other than f7, which he dealt with. How much time do you spend on that move? I'm curious. On queen e7. He spent 10 seconds because he went from 10:09 to 10:09. Very nice. Yeah, he's probably doing a lot of tactical puzzles, working on his puzzles, hopefully positional puzzles as well, studying Grandmaster games, doing strategic puzzles as well as tactics. Okay, knight takes h1, king e2, knight f2, and yeah, the rest is, let's see, a little bit of counterplay. He's got to be careful, actually. I'd probably use my other knights. You have two knights coming at him, but there aren't enough resources. There's just not, right? Two knights is not enough here. There's nothing to fork really either. So he's up 13 points, and yeah, that's a wrap, folks. That's it. Tucks his pieces back. Oh, she does get the knight, but it's just not enough. Too many pieces. Eat. And is he going to find a checkmate here? A little tricky. The rooks are weaving their way in. No way there could be a stalemate because there are 3 pawn moves. Good. Okay. So that was a little bit closer. Now let's move our way up and see who else did he play? Who was second place? Shrey. Okay, let's see how he defeated the second place person. Then I got to run. So we're just doing like little bite-sized analyses of these. Okay, so Shrey, let's see. This game went on, lasted 1 move because Shrey didn't move. Okay, there was another one. Shrey must have had to leave. He must have left. Okay, so let's see. He has black, so e4, e5, bishop c4, knight f6, knight c3. So this becomes like the Vienna game. And white sometimes could play d3 and f4 like a king's gambit strike. It's a little risky, but that's possible. Or the knight can just come out with d3, maybe knight f3 and d4 like they play in Scotch, smash the center. It could be a Scotch gambit if you don't know. It wouldn't work out here, but sometimes they'll play d4 and not take back. But the knight will be under attack. So probably just knight comes out in d3 or d4 and just take back. I kind of like the d3 f4, but that's a little riskier. But you want to strike at black center. So knight f3, h6. So apparently Amog made a blunder. What's his blunder? Did he just hang the pawn? He took advantage of it. Good job. So what should he have done? No need. Because he's worried about. But here's the thing. Let's say you go d6, knight g5. You guys have seen this. You just castle. It's covered. There are 2 attackers, 2 defenders. You get the rook and the pawn, but look at the computer evaluation. It'll love black's position. It's like saying black is up 2 pawns, even though material is 5 and 1, 3 and 3, 6 for 6. But it's much better to have the 2 pieces than the rook, despite the pawn. White has no attackers out. So then he goes d5. He's trying to tear stuff open. And there's no need to play, see, this is the idea of reaching f7, but it's not really worth it. And then he's putting too much weight on this idea. So Amog, this is good. There's actually some critique in this one. But he got some good resistance from Shrey. So Amog is actually believing his opponent. Don't believe your opponent. Just take it. Bishop takes, queen. Let them do this in black. Look at the evaluation. Black's going to be winning. Is there something that's minus 1.5? Yeah, you may as well just take. See, it wants the knight to go back. The moment the knight takes, look at the eval. Boom, shoots up for black. Huge advantage for black. There's nothing that white can do. 2 pieces for a rook, just move a king back, bring out those pieces and attack them. White has only a knight out. So black is just going to crush him. So you could do it, but no, now it says white's better. D4 is it available? D takes C7. It doesn't, you had a tactic. Takes. Check is a fork. King is totally exposed. Take with a check. Queen blocks. Take this now. Queen takes check. Who cares? Just move the king. Now you're threatening to win the queen. Okay, that's bad. So, okay, 5 pawns for white, 4 pawns for black. Wait, what are we at? No, 6. Yeah, 6 for 4. Who cares, right? It's about the attack. The 2 pawns are irrelevant there. You want to get the attack. The white king is uncastled. This is a really interesting game, actually. So D takes C7, queen takes C7. Yeah, it's only a mistake because he missed the opportunity to, that king can be torn open, and he's just running into the rook. He's running into the queen, coming to D4. Yeah, so what's the best move? D4 was the best move. Bishop will take. Now white's doing fine because he had a chance to consolidate. He made his position solid. We have 3, 6, 3, 6, 7. Extra pawn. Beautiful knight. See, that's a weak square on e5 because there's no f pawn or c pawn. F or d pawn. And again, there's no f pawn. That is a weakness for black. Look at those light squares. Some nice squares to hop into, like g6. Got to constantly worry about this e6 pawn. Rook, queen. Queen might find a way in from a different direction. Big problems, right? So black is in trouble there. White's doing great. So he missed that chance. But then black also missed his chance. That's okay. Hits the knight, guards the f-pawn. That's good, and you should castle. But you are blocking your bishop. Hey, white's doing great, though. So how did things turn? Black is still in a bit of trouble. Okay, so c3, let the knight. Did he come in? You could have come into that. We remember, guys, weak squares, weak squares. Let's say, what should he have done? This is where the advantage goes back. Just tuck your knight away. Say he goes here, go here. So you can take, saying d4. Let's see what happens. d4, e4. Here comes that knight again, right? But I think you can just play d4. I mean, d3 instead of d4. Either one's fine. d3, rook in the middle. It's just a sample line, hit the pawn. Let's say guards the pawn and bishop wants to come out. Yeah, you can't really go anywhere else. Bishop d2, it doesn't matter. You can go here too. It smashes the center. Oh, the queen's exposed there. That's why it wants bishop e3, because then you block the attack on the queen. So even if he goes here, you can just chop. Say chop with one of the knights, sure, whatever. Doesn't want to trade queens because he's down material. Where can he go? Maybe he goes like here. Saying h3 stop. I mean, you could probably, let's see if this is good. You can do that too. Kind of annoying. Try to trade queens though. Force the trade because there's exposed king. And you're up material. Yeah, that's fine. Up a pawn. Right? 2 rooks knight, 2 rooks knight. And we got 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, that's 2 pawns again still. It's 3, 6 to 4. So anyway, that was among the last chances, it looks like. Let's see. For white. So he makes one mistake. Now here, okay, so the rook comes out. That's not good because you give him the F pawn. Let's say you kick it. Just kick it away. Chop, trade, just kick the pieces back, start pushing them back. Uh-oh, there's a fork. So yeah, he had a chance. So this was Shrey's chance. Shrey's doing great. This is a high level game and a pretty close game. The other game, Shrey just didn't play. So the one game that they did play, it was a real close game. Could have been either player's game. And then he hangs, and then he kind of just, wait, where did the queen go? Oh, I was just talking, but I missed the queen hanging. What is she doing? Oh, maybe he meant to do that. Can you move this away? Yeah, the rook's coming, and it's looking pretty dangerous. Big attack. Look at these pieces. They can't come out. So you get the idea, the big attack all of a sudden, and then he hung the queen. But yeah, even if they, let's see. So basically, yeah, I mean, you move your rook away. I don't know. That just doesn't make too, look at that. See, Shrey has 10 minutes and 9 seconds. He never went below 10 minutes. You can't do that. That's just not a good idea. And then actually, because he was, Amog faced some resistance and he spent some time. So that's good. That's good. He spent, he spent over a minute. Well, including the 10-second increments. Yeah, he spent over 2 minutes on the clock. So that's good. You should be spending 2 to 4, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. You should put, by this point, you're on, we all move 15. Yeah, I'd say move about a third of your time, maybe, because you want to keep some time for the end game and any complexities in the middle game. But yeah, black is fully developed here. So Shrey, you were doing a great job. Where did it turn? Yeah, because even here, yeah, you got 2 extra pawns for white. White just never consolidated. And look at black's development though. I mean, you have the rooks connected. So even though the computer was saying white's doing well, especially here, there are weaknesses. And that bishop never got out. Reminds me of that Paul Morphy game where he sacks his queen on f3. And there's first she goes into d3, the weak square because of c3. Very similar concept. So anyway, I got to run now. I wanted to do a quick analysis, get some ideas. So now we saw how Shrey wins and how you could still do well against him. And a lot of it was just, guys, no hanging pieces, take your time, look at the scope. But like one of the first games I was looking at, there were just a lot of pieces hanging and like this person just wasn't spending time. So you got to be cautious. You learn those lessons. Hey, I'm hanging pieces. Well, largely it's because you're not moving quick. You're moving too quickly. So just switch it up. Take your time, look at the scope of the enemy pieces, be cautious, get that full development. So this actually is a very good example by Shrey here. Yeah, just nice piece placement. And then, his opponent made a mistake and then he was able to exploit it. Oh, sorry. Wait a second. That was for, no, Shrey did a good job earlier. But you see, but Amog, yeah, that's what I was saying about for black. Like, he got good development, though. See, he still has really good development. But, hey, Shrey did have the 2 pawns, which is why I was giving white the advantage. But, like I was saying, if you make one mistake here because of the development, you can get into trouble. But yeah, looking at it from the other side. Oh, it's not. I know what the after. But yeah, no. I was for a second I was thinking that black was Shrey here. So Amog has black. Yeah. So again, Shrey had the material advantage. But actually he was down in development. That's what you saw, right? That's where Amog was able to use his tactical skills. And yeah, he certainly could have come in there immediately. That's what the computer was recommending, right? Because you just squeeze them in there. Then you hit those two, defense, attack. So you trade, and you see, so we've got 2 pawns up. We have a knight that was taken from white, and a bishop and 2 pawns were taken from black. But look at this development, right? Really nice development. What can we do? Just squeeze them a little bit there. So it still say, hey, white's doing pretty well, but there's problems. But where did he mess up? Yeah, he just hung the F pawn. So you just have to fit that. This is a good example of centralization and development, actually, because if you see him pushing away black centralized pieces, push it away. Then, okay, it's looking at bishop b2. I don't know. I probably wouldn't do bishop b2. Now we could go rook e1, re-centralize. Where's that bishop going to go to? It's saying a3. What's it looking at? I don't know about that. I wouldn't play a3. What's a normal move? I don't know. We can even go like bishop e3 or something. So that's fine. So he's still giving white a 2-point advantage. He's up 2 pawns. There's no compensation for black. If you have 2 pawns up and it's like, oh, white's only up +1, that means that black has something in return, but it's not giving him anything in return if he just finished his development. So really it was one big mistake. Then he hung his queen. But he was, as you can see, Amog is great at developing quickly, getting an initiative, putting pressure on his opponents. You make 1 or 2 mistakes, maybe one, it brought him down closer to even. Second mistake, you're losing. So really good job, Amog, and also good job, Shrey, in this game. This is one of the closer games we've seen. So, yeah, I think we're going to see good rivalry amongst some of the most experienced players, and I want to see the players that are having the roughest time really come back and take your time and avoid those hanging pieces. All right, good job, guys. See you in the next class and tournament.